So there's actually a group of people in the United States that is arming themselves because of what they fear Trump will do to them once he actually takes office. That's what we're going to talk about today, as we not only look at who the group is and what they're arming themselves with, why they're arming themselves, but is there any legitimacy to what their fears are of Trump taking over? I really want to be as objective as possible, because some of the things they're doing I agree with. Some of the things I don't. Now, whether you fall on whatever side of this argument, agree, disagree, doesn't matter. Leave your opinion down below after the video. Let me know what you think about this, because it's a hot button topic, but I think it's good to kind of talk this one through, and let's see if their fears are actually legitimate. Let's go and get into it. Now, the group I'm talking about is the LGBT community. So essentially, I found this article, and I'll show you a little bit of it, of course, but essentially there are specific trainers, specific groups out there that cater just to LGBT shooters. Now, on the surface, it kind of makes sense. We all have our little groups, our friends, people that we feel more comfortable with. So if somebody from that community says, hey, I feel more comfortable going to this specific trainer or this specific shooting range because it makes me feel more comfortable, I don't see a problem with that. What I do see a problem with, though, is the reasoning behind it, because they're kind of taking it to the extreme. It's not just, oh, I feel more comfortable with this specific trainer or this group of people, whatever. It's that if one of them were to go to a range where somebody like me, I guess, or maybe even somebody like you actually frequents, they're not going to feel safe with that at all. And this is just kind of the implication I'm getting from this article and the way that it's being written. But there are some in that community that feel as though if they go to a range where there's white, bearded, tatted up guys, for instance, that they will somehow be intimidated by somebody like me. Like, I'm going to go up to them and, ask them to leave or do something worse, I guess. I have no idea. Now, look, if I were to go to somebody at my range, right, because let's say, somebody like this showed up, right, and I say, hey, this person, I'd like to see if you can get them out of here because I don't agree with the way they're dressing or the way they look. My range, whoever's working there, would say, okay, well, pack it up and get the hell out of here. What are you talking about? There's never been a time where I've looked at anybody down the line that frequents my range and been like, that person right there, I really want them gone. I want them out of here because I can't concentrate on myself shooting because they're here. If anything, it's the opposite effect. I've always said that if you want a group of friends and to make friends quickly, all you really need to do is buy either a gun or a motorcycle, and you're going to have friends for life. You'll have random people talking to you sometimes, and you guys will get on the subject of guns and other things, and before you know it, you're going to, have a lifelong friend. That really is how the gun community is. It doesn't matter what you look like, who you are. Matter of fact, you can go through every single one of my videos I've ever made. If I've ever said this specific group or this group or that group should not have guns because, well, holler back at me and let me know what video that was, because as far as I know, and I'm 100% certain on this, I've never said that. Firearms are for everybody, right? I've always actually said that. So there'll be a lot of instances where I've said, no matter who you are, if you are a law-abiding citizen in the United States, you should own a firearm. That is your God-given right. Now, is there any legitimacy, though, to what they think Trump will do to them? Well, there's no doubt that Trump has a specific way of thinking, and a lot of us agree with it. For instance, there's only two genders. This is something that he said he wants to recognize. But you got to remember that this is, even though it seems very simple, it's important, especially for women, right? Because you have men like myself. If I decide that I want to become a woman, if that's something you decide and you want to do that, like most people say, go for it. I don't have to agree with it. I don't even have to like it. But at the end of the day, if you want to do that, go for it. But when you involve kids and when you involve women that have worked their entire lives, and then all of a sudden I decide, hey, I want to become a woman, I'm going to beat 99.5% of the women out there just because of how I'm biologically made up. So recognizing only two genders protects, first of all, he wants to protect kids, and I think that's always important. I think that's something should never be messed with at all, right? They're our most vital asset, and I will believe that and not change my mind on it at all. But another thing I won't change my mind on is protecting those that are weaker biologically. It's just the way it is, right? That's why we advocate on this channel a lot, and that's why we have a lot of women that follow this channel too, because I say guns are the great equalizer for any kind of woman out there. Anybody, disabled, woman, veterans, older people, younger people, as long as you're law-abiding and you're an adult, you're of age, dude, you're able to buy firearms. You absolutely should. And you should learn how to use those firearms too. And protecting women in their own sports that they've worked so hard for is a part of it. So I think that's part of the rhetoric that, again, I believe in, and I agree with Trump when he says this stuff, but I think that's part of the rhetoric that they're looking at, and they're saying that Trump is going to somehow, I don't know, deport me? Has he ever said that? No. He's talked about deporting illegal immigrants, some of which may be in your own town. So here's the ironic part about it. Trump, in a way, is actually going to make the United States safer by getting people out of here, including people in these Tren de Aragua gangs that shouldn't be here in the first place, hence making a lot of these cities safer where these people are, right? So I'm not saying you should trust Trump and the government for your safety. Not saying that at all. You should still arm yourselves. But what I am saying is that he actually is going to make lives for all Americans just a little bit safer by getting people out of here that shouldn't be here in the first place. So no, I absolutely do not agree that the LGBT community, or anybody, Americans, right? I wish we could just go back to that and just say Americans, but whatever. Different groups, different people like to call themselves whatever you want to call yourself. If you're an American, Trump actually is going to make this a little bit safer. But yes, no matter if you're in the LGBT community, black, white, purple, brown, blue, whatever you are, if you're an American, you should still 100% depend on yourself for your safety. So if more people in that community are arming themselves, I say that's a good thing. The reasoning, though, is definitely misleading. There you go. That's my opinion, but I'd love to hear yours. No matter if you agree or disagree, let me know what you think down below. If you like what I do, consider subscribing. Also, if you like videos like this and want to see more like them, I got a whole lot of them on my channel. Big thanks. See you in the next one. And as always, hold them down.